Aloha and good afternoon. My name is Jürgen Steinmetz, joining you from livestream.travel and eTurbo News in Honolulu, Hawaii. And today we're talking about what makes news today on Tuesday, February 2nd. And we'll be going later on to Korea to talk to Sanje Park from SB International about an update from Korea and from the region. Before we do this, Peter Tarlow is joining us as always from College Station in Texas. Good afternoon, Peter.
Good evening from Texas. Hope everything is going well in the Aloha State. Greetings from the Lone Star State. The It's been again, as always, an interesting day in the world of tourism. Two stories that I thought were kind of fascinating. One, of course, is the UAE is setting up the first global court for outer space. And I'm not quite too sure how they're going to have space law and what happens if you have a problem between somebody from Mars and Venus and they're fighting with each other. But this is showing tourism of the future. And the fact is that just like people laughed about travel law 30 years ago, now we're laughing about maybe space travel law. But who knows, maybe in 30 or 40 years, the UAE will be ahead of everybody else and they'll have a whole system made so that if you go on a cruise to Mars and you accidentally stop in Venus or something, you'll be able to sue. So it'll be the American ideal of suing, but taken to a new higher level. So I think that's really going to be an interesting thing to watch. It's really unique, and you got to give the people in the United Arab Republic not only credit for thinking out of the box, they're literally thinking out of this world. So good for them. Another area, though, that I think is probably very important is for Asia, and that'll kind of lead us into our own discussion, is, as you know, there was a revolt. It appears to be a coup d'etat in Burma, and this may really impact tourism throughout all of Southeast Asia. It's unclear if they're Myanmar or Burma. The U.S. State Department now has gotten back to saying Burma, as has President Biden. So it's unclear exactly where policy is. But today, the United States officially declared it an illegal coup d'état, a military coup d'état, and that may have a lot of implications for all of Asia.
Burma is, and Myanmar, no matter how we look at the country and what we call it, is part of the ASEAN group, what is significant because the United States and many other countries have excellent relationships with most of the ASEAN countries. And this is including Thailand, Singapore, Vietnam, Indonesia, Philippines, and Brunei. So, and also Laos and, is one of the members. So Myanmar being now an outsider with the coup d'etat going on, this may also have implementations for the future of ASEAN. And ASEAN in tourism started working together back in 1999. I was kind of involved in the initial process and came a long way. So it's an interesting development, and it's not the first time it's happening. It's the second time, really.
Yes.
Myanmar only was a democracy for less than 10 years when it started to be a democracy. This was 9 years ago, I believe. So we'll see where this goes. Now,
Yes.
there's changes all over the world. We reported about the European Tour Operator Association. Our friend Tom Jenkins, who's also part of our board for the World Tourism Network and is CEO of ETOA, he was highly concerned about Germany now requiring VAT taxes for any tour operator or anyone operating in Germany from the UK or from any country that is not part of the European Union, what immediately would increase rates to about 20%. I think the VAT rate is around 20% in Germany. What also means a lot of challenges for tourism export. So this world in the background, there is not much of tourism going on, but in the background with all these changes going on, we don't know how we're all going to awake out of the Corona nightmare. And it's interesting to hear, I think, from the Korean standpoint, from Sanje Park, who's joining us from SB International in Seoul, Korea, I believe he is. And maybe Peter, if it's okay, we can give the microphone to Sanjay.
Yeah. Before we give it to Sanjay, just two last pieces of news that I think we want to talk about just a bit. One, you may have read the study now that says that cheese is really good for you and it may prevent Alzheimer's. So if you are a cheese fanatic, people used to feel guilty about eating cheese, but this will really be good for both tourism in Wisconsin and Switzerland. So if you like fondue, and you can get to Switzerland, think of it not as only enjoying yourself, but being healthier. So those of you who like pizza or any of the other cheese products, go for it, because cheese is now a preventative medicine against Alzheimer's. It's even better than red wine. The other thing, before we turn it over to Sanjay, ask him some questions, is tomorrow I'm having my second COVID shot, and I'll try to report back what it's like. Lots of people are reporting that they don't feel well for a few days after the shot. Other people say no effect at all. And there doesn't appear to be any rhyme or reason on who has a reaction and not a reaction. So tomorrow, or the next time we meet, I'll be able to give a personal report about what my second COVID shot was like.
Beaches is all about families, and keeping your family safe is our #1 priority. That's why we created our Platinum Protocol of Cleanliness, setting a new standard of excellence in health and safety protocols to give you a worry-free destination wedding of a lifetime. Beaches was built on connection. Connecting with family and friends, celebrating old times, and creating new beginnings. And we know the love you have for your family and having them there for the most special time of your life is what's most important. At Beaches, you can still have that happily ever after with a fully customized destination wedding surrounded by the people who mean the most to you. You can feel safe saying "I do" in a lush tropical garden, or walking down a white sand aisle with a calm blue sea as your backdrop. Our wedding venues are found in wide open spaces, nature-made for celebrating your love. And while we've always led the industry in health and safety protocols, our resorts are even safer now than ever, giving you a wedding free of worries, surrounded by love. That's why we've reduced the capacity of our venues and put more physical distance between guests. Instead of tables for 8 at your reception, we'll seat only 6 guests per table. We've eliminated buffets and specialty food stations, so all food will be plated and served by Beaches staff wearing masks. We're even offering live stream service of your wedding ceremony, so your friends and family who can't travel right now can still share in your special day. Once the vows have been exchanged, the honeymoon of a lifetime begins. And we're taking every measure necessary to ensure your health and safety during your stay at Beaches. As part of the Sandals Resorts family, we've followed in their footsteps in setting a new standard of excellence with our Platinum Protocol of Cleanliness. Together with the extensive research from local ministries and health officials, the Center for Disease Control and the World Health Organization, Beaches has instituted advanced hygiene practices across 18 key touchpoints. A triple check system that includes inspecting, cleaning, and sanitizing hard surfaces and common areas every 20 minutes. Adding auto-dispensing hand sanitizing stations throughout the resort. To ensure the utmost safety, Beaches will be using hospital-grade disinfectants, electrostatic sprayers for advanced cleaning, UV lighting equipment to inspect cleanliness, and air duct sanitization for each room before every guest's arrival. We've gone so far as to steam clean and sanitize carpeting and flooring prior to arrivals, and placing personal hand sanitizers in every guest room. For added safety, all staff members are required to wear protective face gear at all times. And from now on, guests can check in online at home, so they can bypass the front desk and go directly to their rooms. Stricter physical distancing protocols have also been put in place in every part of the resort. Chlorine and pH levels at all our pools and water parks are monitored every 2 hours, and we've taken added measures to protect the health and safety of your family. Our kids' camps facilities are sanitized before and after each use. And all of our professional nannies carry pocket-sized bottles of hand sanitizer. Our tween and teen hangouts, including the Xbox Play Lounge and Trenchtown, are sanitized before and after each use with hospital-grade disinfectants. In addition, all our spa facilities and sports equipment will be sanitized before and after use to protect the health and safety of our guests and their families. Both Sandals and Beaches are committed to providing strict compliance and implementation of these safety protocols. So much so that we've created a dedicated quality inspection team at each resort to make sure all safety measures are adhered to. We can't wait to help you make your dreams come true with a destination wedding at Beaches. And while you're focused on your new life together, surrounded by those you love the most, we'll take care of everything else.
Sanjay, tell us what is the state of COVID in Korea right now, and tell us where you're located, etc.
Okay. First of all, good morning, good evening, Hawaii and Texas. It's very nice to meet you again here at the Internet TV, and I'm very happy to have you. First of all, Corona situation in Korea is, let's say, getting better. Okay, we used to have 1,000 patients, new patients, and now we reduced up to 300 patients
A day.
Daily. So we are considering lower down the social stage level 2.2, 2.5 to 2 point, but we never know. We were still, cautious, especially the churches, schools, and those people who are gathering as a group. We are really, be cautious at this point.
Yeah. Are the restaurants open in Korea?
Yeah, restaurants are opening because of the economic problems. A lot of pressures by businessmen, especially those small business groups.
Family,
Yeah.
small business.
So yeah, we have a limitation for the business size wise, but small dinner and lunch, whatever the restaurants, will be okay at this moment. Yes.
And how are the hotels doing? Are people visiting, or are you getting anybody from abroad, or only just local tourism?
Local tourism. As you know, most of the countries, we are all blocked by the incoming international visitors. So Korea is the same problems. We don't have international visitors. We only have the domestic tourists at the hotels.
Yeah. All right. Yes.
And when it comes to domestic, before the crisis, and I always have to ask this when I talk to someone in Korea, before the crisis, there was some on and off intention in working with North Korea. For example, there was a joint resort built on North Korean territory, but I think financed by South Korea with South Korean tourists. Is this type of so-called domestic tourism still active? Do you know?
Based on the limitation, domestic tourism is active. For example, Jeju Island came back almost to similar levels as before the COVID, but still it is unstable, up and down. So it's getting better, but we also under COVID. It's not like before the COVID.
Yeah. What about Japan says that they may have the Olympics, but without any visitors, just have the athletes. Are they talking about the Olympics in Korea? Because they're just one country over, and I assume that you hope to get some of the overflow after Japan into Korea.
Yeah, good questions. Actually, I talked with Mr. Nam, who participated in our conference. He has big travel agencies, which is related to Korea and Japan business. He also working for the Olympic committee this year. Okay, according to him, the business already contracted and they received the payment 75%. So the organization itself, there's no doubt it goes, but social circumstances very negative. So we are still fighting each other for that matter. Yeah.
So the Olympics, you say 100% there will be Olympics.
That's too dangerous to say 100%, but there is possibilities
Yes.
to go through the Olympic Games.
Okay. Do you think it'll be though without any spectators? It'll just be the athletes and nobody else?
There's a possibility without visitors or without expectations. We some of the the players and the committees might do, but I guess Japan, they will try to put their national visitors. They might have to use. Yes.
Yeah. It's really interesting. I think they're going to lose a lot of money if they don't have any visitors.
For sure.
Yeah.
For Korean side of it too, we expected we expect business related to Japan Olympic, Tokyo Olympic, but for us some problems. We have almost cut down the tourism business to Japan, so we also worry about that too.
Tell us about your organization. I know that you have a cultural organization, and you recently had a tourism conference. I have the, I think you can see it here, the brochure from it. It's in Korean, so I can't read it except for the front page. But tell us a little bit about what the conference was about and what your organization is doing for Korea.
Okay, the organization I briefly mentioned, this year, the organizer, which is we called World Culture and Tourism Institute, which is belong to Seoul Cultural Center. Seoul Cultural Center is a nonprofit organization for the people who want to serve to the society through the cultural activities. So we have been through the 3 years to serve the local governments and local orphanage or international schools and people in Busan and these areas. Last year we decided let's have something different for the academic, which has related to the tourism. So we had an institute. Then we started out this conference. The conference, the main goal was as you know, we are all under COVID. Tourism is freeze. So we wanted to get together, especially the tourism specialists. We want to have some ideas how we can solve the problem, how we can help in the society. So actually, we got December 13th and 14th of last year, we got international conference and national domestic conference, and also we had the PAM tours stuff. So when we had international conference, Peter, you participated, and others too. We had a pretty good ideas what's going on the other side of the world, and there were some brilliant ideas. Even though everything was frozen by the COVID, we have a slim chance to start it out tourism, especially domestic ones. So that was really good place, and people enjoyed it, and we wanted to get together again. Everybody had a good experience.
Good Zoom experience.
Thank you.
Jürgen,
Sure. you know helped a lot to the conference. The conference moves around, and
Yeah.
as former Secretary General of UNWTO and the lady former Secretary of Tourism in Philippines. Everybody
The
really happy to.
Philippines.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Anything specific questions I can answer if you want.
Yeah. Now, we talked a little bit about, and I don't know if this is your expertise, but we talked a little bit about the situation in Myanmar, in Burma.
Okay.
How do you see the implementation in your region? You know, of course, Korea is outside the ASEAN region, so it may not
Okay.
affect you at all, but I'm just wondering.
Okay. Good question. Actually, people here, Korean people, don't know much about the Myanmar,
Really?
or we know about the some of the key persons, but at this time, people just watching over. But there's some Koreans who might know about the Myanmar might say worry about those military coup and worry about the democracy going back. But now the time changes. Myanmar people in Myanmar they will stand up and fix it. I guess.
Oh, good. So, what are the big worries that you have in Korea? What are your biggest worries from tourism?
Big worries about what?
From the perspective of tourism, what are some of the worries that you have in Korea? What are some of your concerns?
Okay. The at this, as you know, if we don't have a solution for the COVID, international tourism is it's very difficult to reactivate. We do some, but there's very limitation. So we try to get vaccine, and also we try to help tourism business to survive and to active certain
Yes.
levels. Yes.
Yeah. Are you worried about North Korea?
Not much. Some might worry about North Korea, but not much. But
Okay.
now America versus North Korea, a little bit tense too, right?
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
Well, I guess our president is no longer in love with the head of in North Korea, so that has changed a little bit. So there's
Yes.
no love affair anymore. So
No.
Yeah.
They're worried. I'm worried he might bomb Hawaii.
I hope not. I hope not.
I think Mr. Biden might be a wise man, so solving a problem without any louse situation.
Let's
So
hope so.
yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So I guess
Well,
we can do something for the through the tourism to
yeah.
help the world peace.
Yes.
Right. And yeah, you had in Korea, I went to Korea a few times and I always enjoyed it. I enjoy the food a lot. You have excellent food in Korea.
Yeah, bulgogi,
And it's you also have
barbie.
excellent. I think you're very much known for cosmetic.
Okay.
I can we can see it here in Hawaii because we can buy a lot of the cosmetics in Korea. Is that a major export in Korea? What is so special about the cosmetic? Do you know?
Okay. Uh, Koreans really good for the making things by hands, and
Right.
also have a good sense of beauty. That's what a lot of people think about it. So that way, through the history, we had a good uh, active actions on products which is made by hands. So people who has a special talent for the beauty, and that brings us cosmetic businesses. So
Cosmetic world.
especially the China and Southeast Asians who are similar to Koreans in a biological uh, situations, they love to have Korean cosmetics. Yeah.
Yes. I remember last time I was in Korea, I went to a place and I met the mayor actually from
Okay.
Damyang, I believe. Damyang or
Okay.
Damyang, I cannot.
Yeah,
But
I know.
this,
Tamyang is a good place to travel. Yes.
yeah, and it's all about bamboo. You have
Yes.
bamboo forests, you have bamboo food, you have bamboo cosmetics. And what is so special about bamboo? I always wondered.
Bamboo is very healthy products. Okay, we healthy and also very useful products. In the history, we use that for the house and the dish and plate, and also it could be used for food. Uh, it is very useful in many ways. So in Damyang, they have nice bamboos. They made a lot of products by bamboo. It is really popular in Korea throughout the history. So I think that's why you visited there to meet the mayor too. Okay, so even though bamboo is taken by a lot of other means, but still for us very healthy food and useful and a nice craft, so we see it as very nice things for
Nice
Korea.
product. Yeah.
Yes,
So is everybody there healthy and good looking?
I think so. We better check together. Yes, and next time when you come to Korea, yes.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. I was hoping to be in Korea last year, but
Yeah.
because of COVID, of course, that was
Yeah,
impossible. But
yeah.
hopefully
Sorry to hear.
this year, after I'll have had my COVID tests, my COVID vaccinations, and hopefully you guys will be okay, and I'll be able to come and sample some of your bamboo products, and then I'll be good looking like you guys.
Okay, wonderful. We better do that.
And you're doing a great job, and
Yes.
we
you.
keep everyone informed when you have a next conference again, and so people can watch it. But I wanted to thank you for being part of our
Yeah.
event today, and
Uh,
hopefully we can have you as a guest again very soon
Yes.
and talk a little bit more about Korea because there's a lot to talk about Korea. It's a
okay.
fascinating country. And I noticed one other thing, and I thought this was so special. You can actually, instead of staying in a hotel, you might want to try to stay in a temple for one night. It's really
Really?
a very, very unique experience, and it's offered. I didn't stay at the temple, but I visited a temple and I talked to the head monk, I guess,
Yes.
and I went there with Madame Do, and it was
Yes.
fascinating when I heard some of the stories behind it. And it's a whole different type of tourism. So if you wanted to really social distance, this is the way to go. This is
Well,
where you should go.
this it sounds like everyone should go to Korea and have at least one night in a temple in Korea. That sounds like a fascinating experience, and it'll make you and then you'll have bamboo to eat, and
Yes.
you'll and have bamboo cosmetics, so you'll be spiritual, good looking, and healthy. What a great
Okay.
combination. So
Yeah.
maybe
Wonderful.
that it's good to say good night to everybody and wish
Yes.
everybody a wonderful evening. Or in the case of Korea, I hope you have a wonderful day.
Okay.
Yes, and thank
Thank
you
you.
again for being part of this event. If you wanted to listen to the archive, you can just easily go to livestream.travel. And we're going to show this on eTurbo News for a few more hours. So if you missed this round, just stay on and stay tuned. There's a good chance you can watch us again. And I wanted to specifically thank Sanjay um,
Okay.
for being part of it. And I asked him before, maybe you can explain it because his last name is Park or Parker, right? Parker. And I thought this is really not a Korean name, but it is. Tell me, how come a Korean last name could be Parker? I think that's
Okay. In Korea, we pronounce it Bak instead of Park. But
okay.
when we pronounce the Korean way, uh, Westerners had difficulties to pronounce it correctly. So they put it in the English ways, put names. So it is common and popular, and people are easy to understand. So we use it internationally that way. Okay,
Okay,
so
wonderful.
there was a little bit of a difference. Korean pronunciation and international English pronunciation. So,
And you write it differently.
Park.
And you write and they write it differently also.
Right.
yeah, yes.
Yes.
Okay, guys.
All
It
right.
was
Well,
nice, and everyone, thank you for watching. And
Okay.
we talk to you again tomorrow. And everyone, stay healthy
yes.
and read Eturbo News. And hopefully we see you again soon.
All right. Stay
Okay.
healthy. Stay well.
Aloha.
And thank
Good
you
night.
so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
so much.
Jargon.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.
Okay.